10 Viking food facts you didn't know. We are serving up 10 interesting and lesser known facts about Viking and Norse people's diets. Let's chow down. 1. Vikings did not eat corn, potatoes, tomatoes, or sugar. When you think of typical stews and farmed crops, these foods may come to mind. However, tomatoes, potatoes, and maize weren't grown in Europe until centuries after the Viking Age ended. Sugar just missed the Vikings by less than 100 years. 2. Most Vikings suffered from intestinal worms. Archaeological excavations tell us that many Vikings and their domestic animals suffered from various intestinal parasites due to contaminated food, poor hygiene, and close living proximity to animals. Whipworm was one of the parasites found, meaning many Vikings would have experienced some uncomfortable side effects. 3. Vikings ate seeds of poisonous plants. Archaeologists have found undigested corn cockle seeds in Viking latrine excavations. It's thought these seeds were in the wheat bread they ate. Corn cockle seeds can be eaten without much risk if the seed shell remains unbroken. 4. Vikings ate enormous quantities of food. Vikings had to eat a lot to meet their demanding energy requirements. This may be why Vikings were described as gluttonous by those in England. It probably didn't help that the Norse people believed that drinking without restraint was the proper etiquette. 5. Vikings didn't suffer from vitamin or mineral deficiencies. Despite fresh food scarcity over long winters in a harsh climate, even the poorest of Vikings often ate better than the peasants of England. They used all of their available resources and worked with the weather to maintain a diet containing a healthy variety of whole foods. 6. Men cooked. Men were just as likely to be buried with cooking equipment as women. This suggests that men cooked more than we've come to think. While women may have still done much of the cooking at home, men almost certainly cooked for themselves while out raiding. 7. Vikings and Norse people had orchards. Some Viking farms had orchards that may have grown apple, pear, and cherry trees. These farmers still would have grown other crops, unlike how we may think of orchards today. 8. Ale and milk were consumed more than water. While Vikings did drink water, ale was safer and more popular since access to clean water was not always guaranteed. Milk, whey, and buttermilk were also often chosen over water. Vikings kept various domestic animals that produce milk, like cows, sheep, and goats. 9. Children drank alcohol too. Vikings made ales and meads of various strengths. Weaker ale was made for children using barley and honey herb mashed dregs. Stronger ales and meads were reserved for adults. 10. Onions were used for diagnosing illness. If a person were stabbed in the stomach with a sword during Viking times, they may have been fed an onion soup. If their wound smelled oniony after ingesting the soup, this was a sign that there was a hole in their intestines and they could not be saved. Want to learn all about what Vikings ate? Check out my recent video on the subject here. Do you have any other interesting Viking food facts? I'd love to hear about them in the comments. If you found this video informative and want more Viking content, please subscribe. It lets me know that an audience here finds this content valuable. Thanks.